Shalom, shalom. First and foremost, I want to give all praise, honor, and glory to the Most High God, Yahweh, Bahashem, Hamashiach, Malak, Yahweh Shah, and to the 12 tribes that are doing this work in truth and sincerity, man. Start off with a daily prayer. Shema, Hasha'Allah, Yahweh, Allah Hayanewa, Yahweh, Akkad. Shema, Hasha'Allah, Yahweh, Allah Hayanewa, Yahweh, Akkad. All right, so hey, at the end of the day, you see the title of the lesson, man. We're going to get straight into it. We ain't going to beat around the bush. So the reason why I'm bringing out this lesson is because, I was at work the other day. I'm trying to make more lessons dealing with reality, dealing with my reality at least. We go out on the highways and byways on the Sabbath and preach. That can be, about end time wars and all that. But I try to do lessons about, reality. More about reality instead of just throwing lessons out there just for the hell of it. Right? Try to make these lessons actually touch. But I was at work the other day, man, and one of my coworkers, we was talking about how they in Haiti over there eating humans, and she said something key to me, and it helped me understand, bro, the Lord is already preparing these things to happen, like cannibalism. Right? Cannibalism is one of the punishments that the Lord is going to use to punish the world, man. He's going to literally have women eating their children, right? He's going to have men and women eating their children, right? As a punishment, though. They're not going to want to, but that's just going to be their punishment, right? So the first scripture I want to get is Ezekiel. Let's start off with Ezekiel right quick. Let's get straight into it. All right, so let me start. I'm gonna get the curse in Deuteronomy 28 first, and then we can go to the Ezekiel. But I'm dead serious, man. When I was at work, and my coworker, she said, "Hell, if it led to that point, if I'm hungry, I would eat a human also." That's what she said. So that red flag, a ding came up in my head. I'm like the Lord is already preparing them for cannibalism. They're gonna. She already didn't said it. She'll do it. And if you watching this video, hey, all praises to the Most High. Hey, at the end of the day, though, she is being set up for cannibalism, man. And a lot of other people think the same way, man. And they have no idea. They're thinking about, if I have to eat a human, hey, that's what it's gonna be. But those humans you're gonna be eating is the ones that's next to you, your dear close ones, because they're the only ones that's gonna be around. Straight up. I mean, that's just what it is. So that's something, the wicked 2/3 got to worry about, man, that don't follow the scriptures, man. And we see these people on a daily basis, right? So this is Deuteronomy 28 and 57, right? And it inspired me too what's going on in Haiti. What's going on in Haiti. They actually got videos of, them Haitians over there actually eating humans, cooking them and eating them on video, right? I was trying to find a video, but I couldn't find it, right? But I'm pretty sure y'all know what I'm talking about, man. I mean, it's actually happening already. We just, it's just a slow process, man. Right? Deuteronomy 32 and 2 and Isaiah 55 and 10. Right? Deuteronomy 28 and 57. And toward her young one that cometh out from between her feet, and toward her children, which she shall bear, for she shall eat them for one of all things, secretly in the siege, and straightness, wherewith thy enemy shall distress thee in thy gates. So this is speaking about what happened in 70 AD, but it's going to happen again, right? Because, the men and women, they was eating their children in 70 AD because what they did is they surrounded Jerusalem, and they cut off all food and water supply that was coming in and out the gates. It was months. It took months for them to siege Jerusalem, right? So they had nothing to eat. So what they would resort to eating their children, right? And like I said, we know the curses is a punishment, and this punishment is going to come in a horrible way, but it's going to be climaxed, man. And hey, this is something we have to get our eyes and mind ready to see for the people, man. This is what's going to happen to these people out here that don't follow the scriptures, man. Hey, even a lot of, Jake that know they Israelites is gonna happen to, man. They ain't gonna have faith. They're gonna give up, man. Right? Because they're not building their faith up as we speak right now with the smaller things, right? So let's get into it. Let's get Ezekiel. Ezekiel chapter 4 and 9. But this is Ezekiel 4 and 9 says, take thou also unto thee wheat and barley, right? So this is the Most High telling Ezekiel what's going to happen in the Babylonian captivity. He says, take thou also unto thee wheat and barley and beans and lentils and millet and fitches, and put them in one vessel. A vessel was a bowl, basically. And make thee bread thereof, according to the number of the days that thou shalt lie upon thy side, right? If you read from verse 1 all the way down to 9, he tells them to lay on his one side, and he tells them to lay on the other side, and it's symbolic for years on how long they was going to be into captivity, right? But it says, and make thee bread thereof according to the number of the days that thou shalt lie upon thy side. 390 days shalt thou eat thereof, right? And think about this. Me bringing out this scripture, think about how crazy he looked in his time. The Lord telling him to tie himself up and lay on his side and eat food like that. Think of how crazy you would look at him, man. But that's reality. That's the Lord speaking to him. So think of how crazy you look teaching the Bible, believing in the Bible nowadays in 2022. You look crazy as hell, man. We all do. Hey, but Ezekiel did too. But we reading this prophecy that, that's coming to pass as we speak. That's happening right now. All of our food is horrible. It's already defiled. All right. So let's keep going. It says, and thy meat which thou shalt eat shall be by weight, 20 shekels a day. From time to time shalt thou eat it. All right. You don't eat whenever you see fit. You eat enough that's gonna allow you to survive, man. All right, it says, thou shalt drink also water by measure, the sixth part of a hin, from time to time shalt thou drink. And this is the point right here. And thou shalt eat it as barley cakes, and thou shalt bake it with dung that cometh out of man in their sight. So let's see what the word dung means. Let me share my screen. All right, so let's see what the word dung means. I'm pretty sure you already know, but just for edification, let's see what dung means. On Google dung, see what comes up. Look at this. Look what it say. It says the excrement of animals, manure, muck, feces, droppings, ordure, cow pats. Hey, so basically shit, boo-boo, crap. That's what dung is. This is what the Lord commanded Ezekiel to do. He says, I'm going to read again, and thou shalt eat it as barley cakes, and thou shalt bake it with dung that cometh out of man in their sight. So he says, you're going to eat shit in front of all the people, and this is going to be a sign, right? And let's see what that sign is. Hey, that's horrible. That's crazy, right? And for you to, let me just read it. It says, and the Lord said, even thus shall the children of Israel eat their defiled bread among the Gentiles, whither I will drive them. So you best believe your ass that you eating defiled bread when you go to the store. I don't give a damn if it's organic or not. All of that bread is defiled. Now the elites, they got the real meat, but they giving you dung, right? They giving you intestines out of, cancered cows, man, and defiled and what's the word for it? Spot and blemished cows, man, that got birth defects and, and shit. They just mix it all together. And also human meat. We already know people are actually eating human meat, man. We can type this in and get this easily. McDonald's has been proven to serve human meat. And they don't care no more. Let me just get this right quick. Give me 1 second. I should have had this put up because this would have went. This would have went good with the lesson. But there's a man. Salakia, 1 second.
Human meat and horse meat in the fast food products made with meat. But on the other hand,
I mean, we steal 100 to 300,000 children a year just here in this country.
what?
I know you.
100,000.
You know, I know you know because I've heard it on your show before. I mean, we steal 100 to 300,000 children a year just here in this country.
What? All these kids coming up in this country missing, and you telling me that y'all steal kids?
And we drain the blood and we mix it with the Passover blood. And then we throw the bodies into the slaughterhouses that we own.
All right, let me share my screen. Hey, this is real though. Like, hey, at the end of the day, you hearing it coming out of his mouth himself, man. All right, this is one of the elites, and he'll tell you out of his own mouth. All right, there's other videos of him actually having an interview, but I'm just getting what I can find as of now. Like I said, I apologize. I should have put it in the video already. It just now came to mind, but hey, here he is.
You know, I know you know because I've heard it on your show before. I mean, we steal 100 to 300,000 children a year just here in this country.
What? All these kids coming up in this country missing, and you telling me that y'all steal kids?
And we drain the blood and we mix it with the Passover blood.
Hey, so one thing for sure, we can look at this and be like, oh, that's a conspiracy theory. Why would he say that? Well, the fact of the matter is, like he says in his video, like, bruh, it don't matter. People, you can tell them, we can have a sign in front of McDonald's and say, they're serving you human meat, stop eating it. People still gonna be pulling up and eating it. And you got some people that's gonna taunt you. They'll get out the car and eat a damn burger in your face and tell you that the kids taste good. They don't care. That's the whole point. So these people are being prepared for this cannibalism. They already prepared for it.
And then we throw the bodies into the slaughterhouses that we own, and we grind up all the bodies in the sausage and the hamburger. McDonald's is one of our favorite outlets.
You on a radio show?
He said McDonald's is one of our favorite outlets. He said, man, stop eating McDonald's, man. Honestly, bro, I would stop eating fast food in general. Just stop eating fast food.
Openly admitting that y'all kill kids and drain their blood and grind their body parts up and put them in meat and sell it to McDonald's.
So when you have stuff like organ donors, human trafficking, that's what that's about. That's why you never find these people when they get kidnapped, because it's the government that's setting it up. They have certain locations that you take that they pay. They'll probably give you like $5,000 for a kid, $10,000 for this, $2,000 for this, whatever the case is. But they'll take them to these certain, locations, and they'll never be heard of again. Why? Because it's the government behind this that's paying people, right? People are actually being hired by the government to kidnap, children. That's why certain of these vans, they look so perfectly set up. Like they be yell proof. Like you can yell all day and nobody will ever hear you. You can beat on the windows and the doors and nobody would ever hear you, right? Because the government is the one who set this thing up. Just like the government brings drugs in the country. Who else is bringing drugs in the country? So who else is doing human trafficking, right? Look at the movie Hostel. All the hostels, they tell you.
And these other restaurants.
And the people, they eat them for breakfast, they eat their children for lunch. And, us Jews, we gotta do what we do.
He said us Jews. Us Jews.
The most important thing to remember between you, Pastor Wickstrom, and me, Rabbi Hedy Finkelstein of New York, that we both have two fathers, and so that's why we look at the world in two different ways. Good job right now. Yes, you've done a pretty good job, but you know there's quite an awakening coming, and my father, who's not your father, my father Yahweh, who isn't your father, because your father is talked about by my father in John 8:44, stating that your father was Satan and that you're the descendant of Cain, who was the first murderer. And you know that's true because you teach it in your synagogue. Oh, that's true, but it's not that you're going to know. But right now it's too late. It's over for you, white race. So that's why I'm speaking.
So if you watch the video, you can watch it on your own. If you go into the video, he literally tells you, he says, it doesn't matter that they ask him, they say, why are you telling us this now? And he was like, well, I'm telling you. He's like, can't you be in, want to make your company crash? It was something to that nature. And he was like, it doesn't matter because they're not going to stop eating it anyway. So it doesn't matter if they tell you or not now, because the people ain't going to stop eating it. They don't care if it's human meat. It tastes good. And sometimes you would, bruh, I'm pretty sure each and every last one of us ate a human before, dealing with a restaurant. I'm pretty sure we have. That's probably why some people get sick when they eat food. And it's probably why you see hair in food. It probably has nothing to do with the people at the register or the damn cooking the food, bruh. That's probably because it's human meat, man. And we all know that hair and teeth can grow inside of human bodies. We know that. That's factual, right? That is factual. So getting back to Ezekiel chapter 4, and I'm going to read 10. Salakia, I'm going to read 12. And thou shalt eat it as barley cakes, and thou shalt bake it with dung that cometh out of man in their sight. And the Lord said, even thus shall the children of Israel eat their defiled bread among the Gentiles, whither I will drive them. So we're in Babylon. This applies to us right now. The Lord drove us here in Babylon the Great, man. And he says, we're going to eat our bread defiled, man. You know, that's why, you know, I understand why people say you need to stop eating meat. I understand that, right? You know, there are certain high holy days that we have to eat meat, like Passover, but I understand why they say that. I understand people that go vegan. I understand that. Why? Because there's actually, you eating human meat at the end of the day, man. Don't think you're not. And what they're doing is they're programming you for it, right? The fact that they tell you that you eat human meat when it's actually time. No, when you don't have the Lord on your side, you don't have no food or water. Hey, you're gonna eat that you're gonna be like, shit, it tastes like a burger. It tastes like a burger. It tastes like a hot dog. It tastes like Frank's hot dog, right? Or Hebrew ballpark hot dogs, man. Straight up. But it says, I'm gonna keep going though. It says, verse 14, then said I, he said, Ezekiel, like, what? He says, God, behold, my soul have not been polluted, for from my youth up even till now have I not eaten of that which dieth of itself, right? Because it's a law in Deuteronomy. Let me get it. That you cannot eat something that dies within itself. Shalakia. Oh, Shalakia, I'm on 12. All right, so this is Deuteronomy chapter 14 and 21. Ye shall not eat of anything that dieth of itself, right? Thou shalt give it unto the stranger that is in thy gates, that he may eat it, or thou mayest sell it unto an alien, for thou art an holy people unto the Lord thy God. Thou shalt not seek the kid in his mother's milk, right? So at the end of the day, if something is like just dead and it look like it's natural causes, nothing happened to it, right? It hasn't been torn, it hasn't been cut, nothing. The Lord said you still can't eat it because it died of natural cause. We are holy people. We can't eat stuff like that. The Lord is going to provide for you if you believe, if you walking in the faith. If you're not walking in the faith and you know that, your conscience is going to eat you alive, right? And, that's for a reason sometimes, right? It tells you wisdom does that to you, right? It says also, thou shalt not seethe a kid in his mother's milk. That means, a newborn baby that comes fresh out the mother's womb, you can't eat it straight up. All right, so going back to Ezekiel chapter 4 and 14 again. Then said I, Lord God, behold, my soul have not been polluted, for from my youth up, even until now, have I not eaten of that which dieth of itself, or is torn in pieces, because that's a law also. If you see something cut up, torn into pieces by another animal, you can't eat it. It says, neither came there abominable flesh into my mouth. Then he said unto me, lo, I have given thee cow's dung for man's dung, and thou shalt prepare thy bread therewith. So he said, all right, cool. You ain't got to eat human dung. You're going to eat cow dung. And we just went over what dung was. He said, all right, cool. You're going to eat cow's dung. And it's all symbolic. Well, he actually ate it, but it's symbolic for how Israel was going to eat their bread, right? In these latter days, especially whether he will drive us, like we just read. It says, moreover, he said unto me, son of man, behold, I will break the staff of bread in Jerusalem. That means they're going to starve. And that is one of the punishments of the Most High God, right? It's starvation, starving you to death, which is called famine, a severe shortage of bread, right? And that leads to cannibalism, right? It says, and they shall eat bread by weight and with care, and they shall drink water by measuring with astonishment. And it happened here before. Go look up the Great Depression. It's happened before, right? It hasn't happened on a mass scale how it's about to happen, but it has happened before, right? And that leads me to Ezekiel chapter 14, where it's one of the 4 sword judgments of the Most High God. Salakia, 1 second. Right, so this is Ezekiel 14 and 21. For thus saith the Lord Yahweh, how much more when I send my 4 sword judgments upon Jerusalem, the sword, right, and the famine, and the noisome beast and pestilence to cut off from it man and beast. So this is how the Lord always judges people, man. Starvation, diseases, right? The sword, right? Gun, modern day guns, or the ancient sword, right? People still use swords. They got gangs that they don't use guns. They use swords. They dress up in lime green, right? And they chop you. They'll chop you up, man. They got videos of it, man, where they literally be chopping people up. They don't need guns, right? So these are those 4 sword judgments that the Lord is going to use in these last days, but we already see the preparation of it, man. At the end of the day, we see it. All right, so let's get into it, man. Let's get into it. Second Ezra. Hey, Second Ezra is one of my favorite books. Second Ezra is one of my favorite books, but it inspired me to do this lesson. The fact that I heard her say that, and I don't know why it blew my mind, but that's how you know when stuff start happening, it's gonna blow people's mind when they actually start witnessing these things, man. Because it tells you in Psalm 91, only with your eyes shall you see, you behold you see the reward of the wicked. Only with our eyes are we gonna see this, but it's still gonna be a crazy thing to see, man. It blew my mind that she said that, but I'm already knowing though. That's what's crazy. Right? Psalm 91 and 7. It says, 1,000 shall fall at thy side and 10,000 at thy right hand, but it shall not come nigh thee. Right? The destruction. Psalm 91 is like the best chapter when we're dealing with Jacob's trouble. That's the main chapter you need to think about. When Jacob's trouble pop off, think about Psalm 91. All right? Anybody that watches this video, Psalm 91. It says, only with thine eyes shalt thou behold and see the reward of the wicked. Only with your eyes are you going to see that. but that's only for certain people, man. That's not for everybody. That's only for certain people, right? The ones that keep the law, statutes, and commandments and exercise their faith in Yahweh Shah HaMashiach. Them is the only ones with their eyes shall they see them and behold the reward of the wicked. And the reward is those four sore judgments and more, right? So this is Ecclesiastes 8:5. Whoso keepeth the commandments shall feel no evil thing. And a wise man's heart discerneth both time and judgment, right? So if you're keeping the law, statutes, commandments, you're not going to be caught up in all this evil that it's talking about, right? And all these different books, starting with Jeremiah 30:7, right? And 2nd Ezra chapter 15 and chapter 16. But since we're talking about 2nd Ezra chapter 15 and chapter 16, we're going to get chapter 16 and 39 right quick, right? So this is 2nd Ezra chapter 16 and 38. It says, as when a woman, I'm going to start at 37. Behold, the plagues draw nigh and are not slack. And the reason why I'm bringing this out, because it's saying it's not slack, is because they're actually being prepared right now as we speak. She literally, I'm talking about yesterday, she said, shit, if it came down to it, I'd eat a human. So what you think, like, it's definitely about to come down to it. So preparation. So just like she's prepping for it through the spirit on the left-hand side, we need to be prepping for it, because we can't eat humans. That's in the law. It tells you to pour out the blood on as water on the ground, man, or as dust. You can't eat humans, but they're going to do it because, the Lord ain't dealing with them at the end of the day. They don't care about the law. You think you're going to be able to tell one of these wicked ass people the law in Jacob's trouble? No, you can't eat that human. You can't eat that human meat. Boy, they're going to be tearing that human meat up, right? Like it's a damn drumstick, man, or a thigh, right? So it says, verse 38, as when a woman with child in the 9th month bringeth forth her son, within 2 or 3 hours of her birth, great pains compass her womb, which pains, when the child cometh forth, they slack not a moment. So this is what we're looking at. It's not slacking. We're just waiting on it to happen, like it tells you in Habakkuk chapter 2. We just waiting on it to happen, right? And like I always bring out Deuteronomy 32:2, right? As the rain drop on a tender herb, it takes time to grow, right? And that's called preparation. Like I said, we need to be prepping while they're prepping, right? Satan is prepping them, man. So we need to let Yahweh Shah prep us, right, through the Spirit, man. So it says, even so shall the plagues be slack to come, shall not the plagues be slack to come upon the earth, and the world shall mourn, and sorrows shall come upon it on every side. There is going to be no escape, man. No escape at all, right? There's going to be no escape at all, right? So now let me go back a chapter, because this is the point right here. Chapter 15, and I'm gonna start at 56. It says, like as thou hast done unto my chosen, said the Lord, even so shall God do unto thee, and shall deliver thee into mischief. It says, thy children shall die of hunger, right? They're gonna be hungry as hell, but the Lord is not gonna feed them like he says he's gonna feed Lord willing us, right? They children are gonna be dying of hunger. Their parents are gonna be, because let's say they do eat their kids. What you gonna eat after that? What you gonna eat after you eat little Timmy? What you gonna eat after you eat little Ron? What you gonna have to eat after that, man? So it'll be a pointless thing to even eat them, honestly. But that's how hungry the Lord is gonna make them. I'm trying to think of this scripture in 2nd Ezra also that I was just reading, where the Lord literally said he's gonna cause these pains to come upon them through those ways. Salakia. Hey, the Most High is not joking, man. right here. So this is 2nd Ezra chapter 8 and 59. It says, for as the things aforesaid shall receive you, so thirst and pain are prepared for them. For it was not his will that men should come to naught. So it wasn't the Lord's will for what's about to happen to the people to happen. But hey, at the end of the day, the Lord had to create a judgment side of the disobedient, the people that did not want to hearken into the words of the Lord, man, in these last days especially, right? You got to have the good and the bad. You have to be able to give people options if you want to follow the right path or you want to follow the wrong path. And the world chooses the wrong path. They chooses their own flesh at the end of the day. And for that, they have to suffer for things like cannibalism, man. Could you just think, like, a woman eating her own child, man? A man eating his own child? A woman eating his wife? Because that's how hungry he is, man. That's what we're coming upon, right? You're going to be thinking they're trying to look for your goods. No, they're going to want you. And that's why you're going to need the hedge of the Most High God, right? Because they're going to be looking to eat people. That's how hungry it's going. Man, we talking about a time that the world has never seen. I've never seen people go around looking for humans to eat. Never seen it. So imagine when it actually gets cracked off. Like I said, it's going to take time, right? This is when the government is going to forsake everybody. This is when the Lord is going to be in. He's going to take away their control, and he's going to be in full control by way of angels, man. And if you don't have the angels on your side, it's over. It's over. Some people, man, they don't pray. Some people ain't prayed in years. Some people, they ain't fast in years. Some people never fast. Some people never opened this Bible at all, man. Right? Some people is 50, 60, 70 years old. They ain't never taught their kids or grandkids the Bible at all, man. And that's why we praise the Most High for bringing us into this truth. Right? So let's get back to it. This is 2nd Ezra 15 and 57. Thy children shall die of hunger, and thou shalt fail through the sword, fall through the sword. Thy city shall be broken down, and all thine shall perish with the sword in the field. It says, they that be in the mountains shall die of hunger and eat their own flesh. It says they're going to eat their own flesh, and your own flesh can go into your seed, man. And your own flesh can go into you. Dude probably cut his own arm off and be like, I'm about to cook this. I'll survive without this arm. I'm about to eat this, though. I'll survive without this leg. The leg is for next week, right? He probably start off with some toes, right? But that's why I said for thirst and pain. They're going to be paining because, being so hungry, it's going to cause them to have pains, man. Cutting off their own members to eat, right? It says, hey, and this is prophecy. This is going to happen. It's just a matter of when. It says, eat their own flesh and drink their own blood for very hunger of bread and thirst of water. And it says, thou as unhappy shalt thou come the sea and receive plagues again. So this is one of the plagues that the Lord is going to send. He's going to cause cannibalism to come forth on the earth. And like I said, he's preparing it, man. And I'm going to stress that throughout this lesson. Be ready for cannibalism. Look at everybody. When you go to work, wherever you go tomorrow, look at everybody and know the ones that don't follow the commandments, what's going to happen. You be like, yeah, you're going to look. When you go to Walmart, when you go to a grocery store, anywhere where there's a lot of people, you'll be like, damn, all these people about to be eating each other pretty soon. You see how they act on Black Friday over electronics. Imagine when they're hungry. And that's one thing I always say too is, what you gonna do to somebody that's hungry, man? What you gonna do? You gotta kill them, man. You're gonna have to kill somebody that's that hungry, right? And when people get hungry, they get what? Angry. We all know this. When you get hungry, you get angry, right? Straight up, right? So let's go to Isaiah chapter 9 right quick. And I didn't make this lesson long. Like I said, I just wanted to do this lesson because it was crazy. I was like, it blew my mind, but I'm knowing in the Bible that this is going to happen, right? I'm knowing this already. So this is Isaiah chapter 9 and 19. It says, through the wrath of the Lord of hosts is the land darkened, right? The Most High, the wrath of the Most High, he's pissed off, man. Because a lot of people are going to take that charagma. That's going to be another way that pisses him off, man. Right? It says, and the people shall be as the fuel of the fire, and no man shall spare his brother. Nobody's going to be able to save his brother, man. It says, and he shall snatch on the right hand and be hungry. It says, and this is two prophets already prophesying about cannibalism. It says, and he shall eat on the left hand, and they shall not be satisfied. Straight up, man. Like I said earlier, after you eat your child, what you gonna do then? You're gonna start chopping at your own self, man, eating it. Could you imagine eating your own arm, roasting it? I'm talking about you like, man, you can't wait till it get done. And it's actually funny, man. Hey, the Lord told us, look, it's actually funny, man. It tells you that in Job chapter 5. It says that we're going to be laughing at these kind of things. Why? Because we out there telling them to get right now, but they refuse to, man. They choose to please their own flesh. So, matter of fact, let me get how the Lord is going to laugh at them, and then I'll get how we going to laugh. Hey, the Lord going to laugh at them too. This is Proverbs chapter 1, and I'm going to start at 24. Proverbs 1 and 24, because I have called and ye refused, I have stretched out my hand and no man regardeth, but ye have set at naught all my counsel and will none of my reproof. How is he reproving people? What is the counsel of the Lord? These scriptures. And how? Us going out to the highways and byways telling people to repent. Hey, that's the slogan, repent or die, man. Straight up. It says, but ye have set at naught all my counsel and with none of my reproof. You don't want to have nothing to do with the Most High God. It says, I also will laugh at your calamity, and I will mock when your fear is coming, right? Because that's a fearful thing, right? To knowing that cannibalism is coming. All right, so let's see what the word calamity means. All right, so the word calamity. Oh, yeah, you don't see. Look, the word calamity goes into disaster. It says an event causing great and often sudden damage or distress. A disaster. It says a disaster, a catastrophe, a tragedy, a crisis, an affliction, evil, misfortune, tribulation. Hey, this is what's happening. This is what's coming to a hood near you. All them niggas in the hood, all them women in the hood, they already don't care about their kids. They'd rather smoke and watch TV and lay in bed together with each other with men that they don't know, right? So them eating their kids, I mean, that's just going to be a snack for them, man. That's just going to be a snack, man. Straight up. But the Lord said he's going to laugh at them, their calamity. He's going to laugh at when their fear is coming. Man. So now this is Job chapter 5. In chapter, I'm going to start at 19. It says, he shall deliver thee in 6 troubles. Yeah, 7, there shall no evil touch thee. So we just read that in Psalms chapter 91 and Ecclesiastes 8 and 5, that the Lord told us that those that keep the commandments shall feel no evil thing, right? So Job is saying the same thing in chapter 5. He shall deliver thee in 6 troubles. Yeah, in 7, there shall no evil touch thee. It says in famine, right, a severe shortage of bread, cannibalism, he shall redeem thee from death, right? And the Lord already told us, like the ones that do his will, he's going to protect them, man. That's something we don't have to worry about. Honestly, there's no time to worry about that kind of stuff. Like, what you going to do worrying about it? Honestly. Because, like, I mean, if you're doing what you can and you're doing everything you can, bro, like, what is it to worry about? Now, if you're not doing everything you can, I see why you worry, right? Because you know what's going to happen to you, right? And brothers bring out beautiful lessons, you know, on what the Lord is going to do to people and how the Lord is going to deliver people, right? So you have to make your calling and election sure. That means do the work, man. Do whatever you can towards the ministry, right? It says, this is 2nd Ezra chapter 2 and 26. As for the servants whom I have given thee, there shall not one of them perish, for I will require them from among thy number. Be not weary, for when the day of trouble and heaviness cometh, Jacob's trouble specifically dealing with cannibalism, right? 70 AD all over again. It says, others shall weep and be sorrowful, but thou shalt be merry and have abundance. You're going to have everything you need in that day. And you will look at it like, how? Don't doubt the power of the Most High. The Lord cannot wait to show forth these miracles. We're in a time where the Lord is literally going to show forth miracles, right? But you got to believe that. It says, the heathen shall envy thee, but they shall be able to do nothing against thee, said the Lord. So the Lord is stamping his name on it. Then it says, my hands shall cover thee, so that thy children shall not see hell. And one of a hellish condition that they going to see is getting put to death just to be eaten, man. Our children, Lord willing us, ain't going to have to worry about those kind of things. It says, be joyful, O thou mother, with thy children, for I will deliver thee, said the Lord. So straight up, man, that's what we look forward to. That's why we don't worry, right? But going back to Job chapter 5 and 20, in famine he shall redeem thee from death, and in war from the power of the sword. It says, thou shalt be hid from the scourge of the tongue, right? People, wetting their tongues against you. People talking to you, speaking death on you, right? People wanting to eat you. The topic of the lesson. It says, neither shalt thou be afraid of destruction when it cometh. And that's what we're looking forward to, Jacob's trouble, cannibalism coming forth to a hood near you, right? At destruction and famine, cannibalism, thou shalt laugh. We're going to be laughing at that kind of stuff. And you should laugh at it now, because you think heathens eating their children, 2/3 Jakes that mocked and scoffed at the Lord, man, the creator, the God of Israel. I'm laughing at them. Bro. Even if I'm not in my mind, I'm laughing. I'm looking at them at the store bro, you have no idea. You think you love that child, but you're going to eat that child. You're going to be ripping. Matter of fact, let me show you this. Lord willing, I can pull it up. Yeah, this is it right here. So this is on this movie called Noah. It's a cool movie. You should go watch the movie. But it's a scene on this movie where they didn't have no food or anything. So what they did is they would throw animals over the gate to try to calm the people down. And this is what the people did to that goat, the goat or the sheep. And this is what's going to be happening pretty soon, man. Believe it or not, this is what's coming to a hood near you. And they're taking her because they're going to eat her. Hey, believe it or not, this is what's going to be happening in Jacob's trouble. You're going to see stuff like this. You best believe it. Look at the clothes. Look at the reactions. Look at everything that's screaming. You're going to be hearing screamings all day, all night. And it's going to seem so close to you. You see, they got the goat. This is the point of the scene. See that they is ripping that thing apart because of how hungry they are. That's coming to a hood near you. Hey man, that's coming to a hood near you. Believe that, man. That's why we got to keep the faith. That's why the scripture says, fear God and keep his commandments. Because if you don't, when it's too late, man. That's why we got to fear the Most High now, man. We have to fear him and keep his commandments now. You can't wait to the last couple of seconds on the clock and think you just going to get right with the Most High. Right? So Job chapter 5 and 22, it says, at destruction and famine thou shalt laugh, neither shalt thou be afraid of the beast of the earth. Right? And it tells you that in Ezekiel chapter 14, like we just read, the noisome beast is one of the four sore judgments, Ezekiel 14 and 21. Now, let's keep going. But I have to go. Let me get this example right quick. Is it? Yeah. 1 Kings chapter 3. I want to get this example, and then I gotta close out, man, because I gotta go somewhere. All right, so this is 1 Kings chapter. This is 1 Kings chapter. I'm gonna start at 15. So this is 1 Kings chapter 2 and 15, 3 and 15, right? And this is recorded in the history. This happened before. Or no, this ain't it. This is not this one. Slovakia. One second. Okay, 2 Kings. 2 Kings. And this is a crazy story, man. It shows you how real it is. So this is 2 Kings chapter 6, and I'm going to start at 25. It says, and there was a great famine in Samaria, right? In Samaria, dealing with the northern kingdom. It says, in Samaria, and behold, they besieged it, right? The same thing, 70 AD, Jerusalem, sacking Jerusalem. They sieged it. The same thing that's going to happen again. But the whole United States is going to be sieged. It says, until an ass's head was sold for 80 pieces of silver. So a donkey's head was sold basically at a high-ass price, man. In today's society, a donkey's head being sold for $1,000. It says, and the fourth part of a cab of dove's dung. We just went over what dung was. So a bird's feces for 5 pieces of silver. They were selling bird droppings, bird feces for $500,000 in lane terms. It says, and this is how bad it was. And this is how bad it's going to get again. It says, and as the king of Israel was passing by upon the wall, there cried a woman unto him, saying, help, my lord, O king. And he said, if the Lord do not help thee, when shall I help? When shall I help thee? Out of the barn floor or out of the winepress? He like, what you want from me? If the Lord has not helped you, what the hell can I do for you? And that's the same mentality that we're going to have pretty soon. So let me get one more precept before I continue. That's the same mentality we're going to have, right? Because the Lord commanded us to tell these people something. Let's see. This is Jeremiah chapter 15 and 1. It says, then said the Lord unto me, Though Moses and Samuel stood before me, yet my mind could not be toward this people. Cast them out of my sight and let them go forth. Let them go out and die, man. It says, and it shall come to pass, if they shall say unto thee, whither shall we go forth? Then thou shalt tell them, this is what we're commanded to tell them. Thus saith the Lord, such as for death to death, and such as for the sword to the sword, and such as for famine to the famine, and such as for captivity to the captivity. Straight up. And it says, and I will appoint over them 4 kinds. And that's going back into Ezekiel chapter 14. All the prophets is speaking the same thing. They just had different little points and different points in the scriptures. That's why we go precept upon precept, line upon line, here a little, there a little. Jeremiah is speaking a little bit more than Isaiah was speaking in certain passages, right? It says, and so on. And I will appoint over them 4 kinds, said the Lord, the sword to slay, and the dogs to tear, and the fowls of heaven, and the beasts of the earth to devour and destroy. Come on, man. These are the sword judgments that the Lord is going to bring upon the earth in a mass way pretty soon. That's why we have to keep the commandments, man. Straight up. So let's go back to 2 Kings chapter 6. 2 Kings chapter 6 and verse 27. Again, and he said, if the Lord do not help thee, whence shall I help thee? Out of the barn floor or out of the wine press? Right? Because the barn goes into, the cattle, the food. He says, or the wine press, something to drink, whether it's wine or water. It says, and the king said unto her, what aileth thee? What's wrong with you? He said, and she answered, this woman said unto me, give thy son that we may eat him today, and we will eat my son tomorrow. What? This is recorded in the scriptures, man. A woman came up to the king of Israel and was like, she's telling him the story. Like, basically, she's complaining to the king. We ate my son, but we didn't. Let's keep reading. It says, so we boiled my son. This is what's going to be happening pretty soon. And did eat him. And I said unto her on the next day, give thy son that we may eat him. And she had hid her son. So she jugged her, man. She played her. It says, and it came to pass when the king heard the words of the woman that he rent his clothes and he passed by upon the wall, and the people looked, and behold, he had sackcloth within upon his flesh. So he went crazy. He's like, what? She literally boiled her son, and they shared her son, and they were supposed to cook the other kid tomorrow. So that goes back to my point. What happens after you cook your kids? What you gonna eat after that? Because it's still gonna be the same trouble. It's still gonna be the same punishment. The Lord ain't done with you. That was just one little itsy bitsy part in that punishment that the Lord is gonna laugh at you about. You still gotta deal with, hey, dogs tearing your flesh, man. Hey, that's what happened to Jezebel, right? That's what happened to Jezebel and King Ahab. That is one of the punishments of the Lord. The Lord used dogs to tear them up, to eat them, right? The Lord is going to use pretty soon in America, all the people that die, he's going to use the fowl of the earth and the beasts of the field to eat them. Hey, this is what's going to happen. And all across the world, man. The great supper of the Lord. That's what I should have titled this lesson. Because the Lord is the one making these people eat each other, man. And that's what's coming to this place pretty soon, man. And I just wanted to share that, man, right quick, because it blew my mind that she said that, man. It actually blew my mind that she said that. All right, so let me get this close and precept right there. So, let me get this closing precept. So this is Romans chapter 15 and verse 4. Romans 15 and 4. It says, for whatsoever things were written aforetime were written for our learning. Like we just read in 2 Kings chapter 6. We see it happen before. We see it in the curses. We see it how the Most High told Ezekiel how we eat our bread defiled among the Gentiles. And we see in 2022, well, I witnessed it, but I'm sharing a story with you, how they're already prepared. They're already ready. Imagine people that completely don't believe in God, man. They're going to do it. And this woman, her dad's supposed to be a pastor, man. But you think she don't care about that, especially when it's time to eat. She ain't going to care about that, man. And that goes for everybody who's not following the Lord, because they don't know the will of the Lord. They're going to justify why they're eating things that they ain't supposed to be eating, right? But it's all justification for the Lord to kill them, right? And a lot of them gonna die from eating human flesh because a lot of them gonna eat it raw. They ain't gonna have nowhere to cook it. They ain't gonna be able to boil their kids. They just gonna start eating at them, and it's gonna be good, man. They gonna be thinking about ground beef, 78% ground beef, lean. That's what they gonna be thinking about, man. At Walmart or Winco, that's what they gonna be thinking about, man. While they eat ballpark franks, man. While they eating his fingers, right? Little Vienna sausages, right? Hey, that's reality, right? So it says, for whatsoever things were written aforetime were written for our learning, that we through patience and comfort of the scriptures might have hope, right? This is our hope, the scriptures. If you in these scriptures on a daily basis, this is your hope, man. Because I'm telling you, it's about to get ugly. Cannibalism is just one of the plagues that the Lord is going to send upon the earth, right? And Lord willing, man, I'm gonna do each plague. I'm gonna try to do each plague, man, just to show forth all the plagues that the Lord is gonna bring upon the earth, one plague at a time, man. Hey, but Lord willing, you was edified, man. Shalom.